Yo, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Jinx, and today's video I'm going to be telling you guys, or explain to you guys, why FNAF 3 held up so much better than you guys might have thought. I know when this game first came out, a lot of people thought this game was very mid compared to the other titles released before it, but I'm going to explain why it's not. But before all that, if you guys are new or returning, please smash that like and subscribe button. It would help me out a lot, and it's absolutely free. So let's get it, guys. Listen to this legendary call, though. I love this legendary call. I'm gonna be quiet for a bit, let you guys enjoy a few seconds.
Another night. I promise it'll be a lot more interesting this time. We found some great.
But to actually get this started and start explaining why I think this game held up so much better than you guys might have thought, and why this game truly is so good, in my opinion, I think this game has aged better than the original any of the original four FNAF games, just because this game was so creative. And initially when the game was released, a lot of people were upset about the changes they made, and maybe just Springtrap being the main animatronic, but I think that was a very fun change of pace, and obviously still having some of the Phantom animatronics resembling the OGs. I know there's some that isn't around, like Toy Bonnie could have maybe been cool in this game and stuff, but just little things like these little extra playable things in the game make it so much more interesting too. Being able to walk around and explore a little bit, and just learning a little bit about the lore. I love how the lore is explained in this game, and in my opinion, I feel like this game is honestly some of the most important when it comes to lore aspect, in my opinion. And there's just so many great features, like the mini games over here that I'm showing you guys. All of them are really fun, whether it's Balloon Boys or there's Mangles and Chicas and all the other mini games are really fun. And obviously you have to complete all of them to be able to do Aggressive Nightmare, which is honestly one of my favorite max mode difficulties. Why I say that is because the game before this, FNAF 2 1020, it is literally known as maybe one of the hardest nights in FNAF history. It might be the hardest besides 5020. I'll let you guys decide which one's harder and all that stuff. But I love Aggressive Nightmares. The perfect challenge between still very difficult but not RNG. When I mean no RNG, I'm not saying you can't have some RNG luck, but it's not just based off of RNG like FNAF 1020. And me being someone that just likes to do the hardest challenges the game has to offer, it's nice that this one actually truly is still difficult, unlike FNAF 1 420, but it's not just luck based like FNAF 2 1020. So that made me enjoy this game a lot more than maybe the typical fan from the outside might think. But there's still so much this game has to offer, and why it's better than a lot of people have to think. I think this game is just, the gameplay is so amazing, whether all of the errors and jump scares. Yes, Springtrap's jump scare is very bad in my opinion, and yes, I will firmly agree that his jump scare is bad, but besides his jump scare, the Phantom animatronics jump scares are honestly amazing in my opinion. I love the Phantom animatronics jump scares, and I think they add just a lot of great stuff to the game, because in my opinion, I didn't think FNAF 2 was that scary. Yes, it can startle you, but I think FNAF 3 is a little bit more scary because of the element of surprise, and obviously these being a horror game, I think it being a little bit more of that surprise factor made me enjoy the game also a little bit more in that aspect maybe than FNAF 2 in my opinion. But no, this game is just so great. I know there's a lot of problems with this game, like every game, but I think highly of this game, and I think its pros outweighs its cons, because if you look at the current day of FNAF and all the new things they're trying, which, just for example, Security Breach, I know that's not a game everybody loves, but really, Secret of the Mimic, I truly, genuinely dislike that game. And yes, they tried something new, but at least this game, when it tries something new, it still gives you that OG FNAF feeling, if you guys know what I mean. Like, yes, it's something new, but it still feels like the core click and point games that we begin to fall in love with, and why FNAF is such a huge franchise as it is today because it was so much different than all the other horror games. But now it just feels like nowadays FNAF is kind of just joining the wave and, really kind of lost what made it so original and made all the fans fall in love with the game. I know obviously Scott really isn't doing his thing no more. We might have some other studios make the games and stuff nowadays. And that's why I also think this game has held up much better than you guys might have thought, because I think this game is pretty much better than most of the recent drops. Honestly, maybe besides like the Help Wanted games. But besides that, I do think this game's heat in its peak. But I don't know. You guys let me know if you guys think FNAF 3 is bad, or do you guys do think it's better than what is all said about it, all the negativity and stuff like that. But also, I did like that even if you're not like one of those people that want to do the max modes, I think this game, in my opinion, is the hardest of the main four, just night 1 through 5. You can truly see the difficulty spike. Unlike FNAF 2, it really doesn't get hard till you start doing the custom night challenges. For me, FNAF 4, once you just get that little listening audio stuff down, it's easy, and then we all know FNAF 1's easy, so that's one thing that also made this game fun. The difficulty spike is actually real. When I got to night 3, I genuinely was dying quite often when I played this game my first playthrough. But all the other games, I truly, genuinely almost beat them in my first attempts, which, yeah, it's satisfying winning, but also I do like to enjoy the struggling and then being able to get that, like, oh, you climbed over a mountain type of feeling that gives you, that satisfaction. So I do think the difficulty of this also made this game much better than what people give it for. Obviously, like I said, there's a lot of still bad things about this game, but overall I would say this game is great. I do like the aesthetic of the game as well, how green and dark and honestly gives off a grimy feel. It just feels, honestly, like I was saying earlier, more of that scary factor than more of, the FNAF 2 office. Now the FNAF 1's vibes are immaculate, I gotta give it that. FNAF 1 has perfect atmosphere, but I think this game also did really, really good on the atmosphere, in my opinion. And I kind of liked how you could have all these little systems and stuff like that. I kind of feel like that brought a totally new dynamic to the game, which brought a lot of more complex and made it funner, in my opinion. Even like just something this simple, you kind of like, not totally in this way, but you kind of see this like going into checking vents and stuff and cameras and other games, even kind of like Pizza Sim. Like I see a lot of FNAF 3 influence on future FNAF games, so that's why I do also think this game held up better, because there's a lot of good features that this game had that are now in future FNAF games, which is also dope. But I do think this game is just so much better than people give it credit for. Let me know what you guys think. Have I convinced you guys that this game is better than you thought, or do you guys still have your same opinion that this game is severely mid? Unfortunately, I hope not, because I think this game is great. This game is so peak, and in this game play I was playing, I kind of was getting cooked on this aggressive nightmare mode for you guys. I was trying to get a dub.